Hi, I'm Michael Martinez, one of the global leaders for EcoStruxure Foxboro DCS. Welcome to another episode of Process Automation Insights. So I'll try to give you the short answer. In industry, a lot of times we're chasing changing customer requirements or changing market demands. In order to be able to get long-term sustainable operations out of a control system, there's probably 5 different challenges that operators are up against. One is supplier support. Are they able to get the support that they need from the different vendors that they have? Do they have the skills? Do they have the parts? The other is unplanned outages. As these systems start to age, we'll find that you'll get spurious outages and you're going to have to deal with the fact that the plant could go down. The third is aging workforce. So do you have the people within your own employment that can actually work on these systems or troubleshoot them so that you can get them fixed? The fourth would be maintenance costs. The rise in maintenance cost as components get harder to find, as they get rarer and rarer, that cost is going to continue to escalate. And then finally, obsolescence. Once that component becomes no longer available, how are you going to be able to procure that component to be able to sustain your operations? Very difficult challenge. But even though those are 5 of the bigger challenges, I would say the biggest hurdle overall from a business perspective is getting company buy-in. And in that case, you're going to have to leverage one of 2 business objectives. So the 2 levers are actually reducing risk and gaining additional value from your process. In industry, many times we're fighting for resources, whether that's capital and or people. So you have to be able to position your business case in a way that actually puts it in a priority above all the others. Many times businesses are trying to make the decision between whether or not they're just going to paint the walls or they're actually going to fix the crack in their foundations. So first of all, it's important to understand that it's not always about cost. Many times it's about return on investment. So when we're thinking about risk, there's really 2 things involved. One is the likelihood that something will happen, and 2 is the consequence of that thing happening. So over time, as systems age, the consequence goes up and up and up until it gets to the point where in many cases, based on a customer's risk profile, they may actually be compelled by their own risk management system to take an action to mitigate that potential challenge. It's one thing to get somebody to say that that's a good idea. It's a completely different thing to get them to invest in actually mitigating that risk. Once you actually get that buy-in from your company, we have a team of professionals who actually execute the project in a very methodical way. Schneider Electric has invested a lot of time and money into tools and into technologies that allow you to be able to do these types of modernizations and upgrades with the least amount of disruption to your operation. We have many customers who are operating 24/7, so we make sure that as we go through this process that we introduce as minimal operational disruption as possible during these turnarounds and outages. Not really, maybe a reminder. As you start to think about how you're going to capture this more valuable future, whether you're looking to mitigate the risk associated with an aging system or you're looking to identify opportunities for digital transformation to capture new value, we have a team of professionals who are there to help you put together that business case to make sure that you can get the buy-in from your corporation.